Hello, everyone. I'm Amber Bafalie, and I have a very welcomed guest here with me today. His name is Remy. He is a phenomenal realtor and real estate professional in the DMV area. He's sold countless homes. He's helped countless families get their dream homes. And so we're in a crazy market right now. Rates are going all over the place. Inventory is slightly coming back though. And we want to talk about the NACA program because according to Remy, the NACA program is one of the best options that buyers can use in this climate. So, Remy, say hi to everyone and tell us what are some of the best features of the NACA program.
Well, I mean, one that they use to market the program is no down payment,
Okay.
no closing cost, and this loan product that they provide is conventional. So you don't have PMI, and that's unheard of.
That is
um,
unheard of. He's talking like real nonchalant about it, but no down payment, no closing costs, and no PMI.
yes, too good to be true, but it's true.
That is
It's
insane.
yeah. I mean, those are like the top three things, and then also they don't have a standard when it comes to like your actual FICO score. Um, they do have a credit standard, but they don't really look at your credit score as much as traditional lenders.
Wow. Okay, so then what are some of the things that they do look for?
Look, NACA wants to make sure that you have income, at least 2 years of income that's consistent. They
Mhm.
want to ensure that you're able to save money. So with NACA, before you get pre-approved, they do something called an affordability calculator, and they look at your bank statements, credit card statements, and even your rent. So let's say on paper you make 150,000, but you're paying $1,500 for rent. They're gonna go off the 1,500 bucks.
Oh, got
Yep.
you. Okay.
So
So can you explain to people why that would be beneficial?
because if they look at for instance, let's say they look at your rental history, right? And
Mhm.
they see that you've been paying this 1,500 bucks for the last 2 to 5 years or a year or two. They know that you can maintain that payment. And the importance of the affordability calculator, you want to see your habits, your spending habits.
Right.
So NACA is one of the few organizations that actually look at your credit card statements as well. Usually, a lender is looking at your bank statements, right? 90 days of bank statements. But NACA, they're playing Big Brother. They're looking at your credit card. Any credit card that reports on your personal credit, they
Mhm.
want those statements because you
Mhm.
can be saving money in your bank account, but you can be maxing out your credit card and then paying it off, or just
Right.
buying miscellaneous things. So even if you're spending money on food, spending money on beauty care, whatever it is, they're going to take that into account. That's why it's very, very important. Initially, when you do plan on going through the program, you can't do anything. You got to save. You got to live like a monk, basically, and have
Oh,
discretionary income.
gotcha. Okay. So how long should a person live like a month per se?
Before you put in your application, I'll say at least 30 to 60 days.
36 days. Okay, so
Um,
that's like 2 months of low
yeah.
spending, saving as much money as you can.
hmm
I think people, we could do that. I could do it. We could do
it,
it.
it's definitely worth it. You just want to see you just want your mortgage counselor that you're going to be working with to see good habits, that you've established good habits. Another thing too is with the payment amount that you're like. Let's say that I'll give you an example. So let's say that you're renting a home and you're paying 1,500 bucks a month, right? And let's say that will afford you. Today, 1,500 is like $240,000 with the current rate. It's probably lower than that. What NACA is going to want you to do is that, let's say you wanted to qualify for 450. Let's say today that's $2,600, right? For a
Mhm.
$450,000 townhouse or condo. They're gonna want you to save an additional $1,100 a month.
Okay.
And that's called a payment shock. So with that payment shock, you're proving to your counselor and NACA that you can afford this new payment. So you have to save for at least, I believe, 3 to 4 months, so 3 to 6
Three to
months
four
depends.
months. Okay.
Mhm.
Save that additional income. But that's
Yeah,
good that they even give you that chance to prove that you can save that amount of money. Because
yeah.
people are like, hey, I want to get a $2,000 mortgage, and then they get declined just to pay $2,500 in rent per month.
Yeah.
And that's it's a joke that's going around, and it's a reality for a lot of people actually. So
Unfortunately.
this program is like, hey, put your money where your mouth is. Let's see your rental payments. Let's see your payment history with your credit card.
And and I want to change the verbiage, the word that we're using. It's not a program.
It's not a program. Okay. Okay.
NACA is not Section 8. It's not Section 8. It's not even subsidized by the government. But NACA is a nonprofit organization that came about once the market crashed in 2008. The government actually placed sanctions on Bank of America. You remember back in the day with Bank of America, they did a lot of things that were fraudulent. They had
Mm.
to put aside billions of dollars, so they can in order to make home affordable for low to moderate um, families. So that's how Bank of America and the alliance with NACA came along. They're just straight advocates. They're a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
So through the nonprofit organization, you're working with Bank of America to get your loan. When you do buy a house, your mortgage company will be Bank of America.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're gonna call this the NACA organization or the NACA
Advocate.
journey.
Yeah, I like that.
But in essence, we're partnering with NACA to get a loan through Bank of America that's pretty much no down payment, no closing costs, very little fees, if any, and no PMI for a
Yes,
conventional loan, which is crazy.
it's better than
That
the VA loan.
that's crazy good.
It is.
So, my next question: what are some of the time frames that people can expect when they start this process? Like, let's say they go under contract today. How much time can they expect to close?
So it can take anywhere from 30 days to as long as 60 days. It just really, really depends. But if you're going to go on the contract on a home that's turnkey, meaning that you can turn the key and move in the next day, I'll say 45 days.
45 days.
The cool thing with NACA, you can also do something called a renovation loan, not home, I'm sorry. So you can actually wrap into your mortgage repairs that you want to make to the property. So that takes
Wow.
about 60 days to close.
That's amazing. I know FHA has the 203K loan, so it's similar to that, but
Yeah.
just so much cheaper, at least up front, out of pocket.
It is. And with the 203K, because it's considered a high risk loan, you pay a higher interest rate.
Right, right. So, can you touch on that a little bit? What are some of the interest rates that we can expect?
So today, NACA's interest rate will always be lower than the market. Whatever Wells Fargo or your local Bank of America that doesn't work with NACA, they're going to give you maybe like 6.2, 6.5. They're going to give you different rates. But only with NACA is where you can get the below market rate. Like yesterday, rates were NACA was at 6%,
Mm,
and today it went down to 5.75%. So it's 5.75% for a 30-year mortgage. And if you're doing a 15-year mortgage, it's 5%. And
wow.
then that rate that you have, you can even buy it down to as low as a 1% interest rate, or even 0.25%, considering if you have the capital to do so.
Exactly. Okay. That actually sounds really good because say some people actually did save that 20% to purchase their house conventionally. then they could use that money towards buying down their interest rate, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, awesome. That's another great option that I think a lot of people should take if they can,
Oh,
because
definitely.
interest is a killer.
It definitely is. And in 30 years, you pay near double the price of the home.
Right.
Here's the caveat though, with NACA, you're restricted to the location that you can buy as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so if we're in the DMV, where are some of the locations that you work with in with NACA?
It can be Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
DC, some
Mm-hmm.
parts of Prince George's County. Montgomery County is a little bit tougher. Montgomery, and even some parts of Virginia is a little tough because in order for the property to qualify as a high priority location, you have like that city, the median income has to be 80% of the income of the whole state. So
Right.
if it's higher than that, they won't qualify that property for the NACA loan. So a lot of families who are really interested in sending their kids into a school that has pretty good ratings, with this it'll probably be a little tough to find a home in your preferred areas.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of viewers today that are watching from Baltimore, so I think this would be a perfect program. We talked about the Home Legacy program a couple of weeks ago, but this would be a
Mhm.
great organization to partner with because it's
Definitely,
it's available and it's phenomenal. It really
it is.
is.
It definitely is.
So, okay, one thing that I really want to talk about is house hacking and how people
Mm,
can pretty much gather their loan together so that they can purchase multifamily homes.
yeah,
So let's talk about it.
let's do it. So here's where NACA is like by far, like the best purchasing, the best mortgage. Um, I don't want to say program, the best mortgage to use.
I'm sorry.
uh, because I'll give you an example. Here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, you can buy a 4 unit property with NACA, and the max that you can spend on a 4 unit property is $1.3 million.
$1.3 million. That's the max.
It's actually a little more. It's like 1.3 and 40,000 or something like that. So here's the cool thing. With NACA, let's say you have 1 unit that, of course, you have to live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even though you're gonna house hack, you got to live in one of the units. The other three, let's say that at 1.3 million, those 3 units rent for 2,000 a piece. They're gonna take 70% times three of 2,000. Let's say it's 1,500, right? For simplicity term, they're gonna take additional 4,500 times 12 and add it to your personal income to qualify you for that $1.3 million multifamily.
Now, there's some people that just heard what you said and totally just. So, to explain what he's saying, let's say you cannot qualify for a $1.3 million investment property.
Mhm.
However, because you're going to have these empty lots that you can, these empty units that you can put tenants in them, the bank will essentially say, okay, let's pretend that this unit is being used by a tenant and you're getting paid by it. They actually say, okay, well now Amber, who at first could not qualify for 1.3 million dollars. Oops. Okay.
You're
You
good.
back? You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right. So originally I couldn't afford the $1.3 million, but they're gonna take the income from the 3 units, the 3 extra units, and add that to my income, and now I qualify for that. So if you've ever been interested in buying a multi-unit property and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know how I could do this, please give us a call, because this is an option right here. This is how you do that.
It is. It is. It is.
Oh my gosh, that is so good.
Can can you imagine?
I feel like everything is available in the universe. We just have to dig a little bit deeper to find solutions.
I
But
agree.
I feel like we can do anything.
I agree. And then even with another thing is that because maybe some people are questioning like, all right, if I buy this property, can I move out the next year? And no, you have to actually stay in this property for 5 years before you can do anything. And then also NACA requires you as a member to at least do like one or two events a year. They have a lot of events around the country where they also advocate and educate other people on the mortgage product that they have. So they want all the the people that benefited from this mortgage, not program, but the mortgage product, to also help other people too. So you just gotta either donate or donate your time. You can donate like I believe they do like drives, like book drives and food drives and things like that. So it's very like a community based organization. It's really, really cool. And even if you're renting, they help you with avoiding to get evicted. If you don't have your mortgage through NACA, they have a home safe program. Even if you're through NACA and you have something, let's say your roof needs to be repaired and you don't have the money, they will
Mhm.
help you fix your roof. They got money and funds there to help you in case, God forbid, anything happens.
Wow, I'm still stuck on the if your rent can't get paid, they'll help you out.
Yeah, it's
That's
an
nice.
organization that promotes housing. They don't want nobody to be without. So just because of their cause and just me knowing that it's especially with the pandemic, home affordability has gone down drastically.
Drastically. We've seen hikes and rate increases, just rent increases and rates, and everything is just going up. The cost of eggs is going up. Every
It's
time I go to the grocery store, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I just buy a bunch of food, or what's going
it's ridiculous. So that's why I've always been an advocate, and I tell clients like, hey, look, you have to be patient. Like I get it, So it's either this like 6 months can be the difference between you paying $100,000 in interest over 30 years or 500 to $800,000 depending on the price of the property that you buy. So I'd rather be patient and suffer for 6 months so I can have freedom to take that perceive that, you know, whatever interest I was going to pay, you can do a 30-year amortization and you can put that money into something else.
on?
You
Wow.
know,
That is so good. I like really love to hear that.
I'm gonna buy
So,
my dream home with NACA.
right, definitely. I mean, I love investment properties. So
Mhm.
that multifamily option that you mentioned, that's speaking to me on a personal level. And I've talked to so many people this year that said they want to do that as well. So I'll be sending this to video to them.
And here's another thing too. With NACA, you can buy a 4 unit with a storefront with a commercial space.
Okay, now we're talking crazy stuff, because
Yeah,
now we're talking about mixed use property.
basically, because you can do that with FHA as well.
No,
Yeah, you can.
you can't.
You can, yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
You
Okay,
can.
well then I need to find some new lenders then.
No, no. So it has to be 4 units, 4 residential units with one commercial space. It can't
Gotcha.
be
Okay.
five, it can't be 5 residential units. Because once you do
Gotcha.
5 residential units, it turns into a commercial
Okay, so
product.
it'll be like three apartments at the top and then one storefront at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it can be four and one storefront at the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay, so it'd be 4 or 5. Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Confirm with your lender. Confirm with your lender.
No, but that's good to know, because I haven't seen that personally with with the FHA products. I haven't seen I didn't see that was an option. So
But how many properties do you even see in your market that have that type of setup? And how many clients want to buy those type of properties? It's very rare.
yeah, it's rare. I mean,
That's a
I
super,
did work with a ton of investors when I first started, and so I was always doing crazy creative financing, but usually it was extremely expensive.
mhm.
They have to get like short term um, creative financing and then transferred over to long term financing after the fact. So just
And that's a whole nother,
yeah, it's a whole nother video.
yeah,
But what you're talking about with the NACA organization partnering with Bank of America, this is fantastic
it
because
is.
now it's not a person that's been working in the real estate industry for years. They're able to capitalize off of this opportunity. It's your everyday person.
Yeah,
Your everyday person that worked a job and they have some savings, or because you don't need a down payment, you don't need to pay for your closing costs, you just need to show that you can make the payments
yeah.
for your
And then
mortgage.
that's a bulk of it. And the fact that they allow you to buy down your interest rate, it's so unreal. So that 20, 30K that you were going to use as a down payment and closing costs, now you can use it to save, pay the interest up front. So let's say you have a 5.75% interest rate, you can buy that down to maybe a 2%. And imagine if you buy in a multifamily and it's cash flowing, like it's the best game that I think a lot of people need to take advantage of.
Yes. That's house hacking 2.0. Like that's
Two,
better than 101. That's like
it
off the
is,
charts. This is great. This is
it is,
insanely great.
it is. You just gotta have a lot of patience.
So, how can someone reach out to the NACA program or the NACA organization today?
So you have to go to NACA.com. The link is below. I said BO. Below. The link is below. And you just have to register for either an in-person or a virtual home workshop to in order to get connected with a NACA representative or a mortgage counselor. But most importantly, you can also go on their website, and there's actually a link where you can download a PDF copy of the actual book. It's like 50 pages. It outlines everything you need to know about the NACA organization and the mortgage product that they have.
That's great. And then, of course, people can schedule buyer consultations with us, 15
Yeah,
minute conversations, just
yeah,
saying, hey, Remy, tell me everything that I need to do to get set up with NACA. Okay?
definitely, definitely. Please do reach out.
100%. You can call me too. But we'll drop those links below as well.
Yeah,
And Remy, there's also one other thing, agents. So any agents that are watching this video, agents can also partner with NACA. So
yes.
can you talk about that?
So NACA has an interesting structure too. So they also have in-house
Ooh.
brokers. So if you wanted to, as an agent, you can hang your license with NACA, or you can actually be trained by NACA, so you can know about the product and you can actually partner with them to work with their clients as well. Of course, they prefer to work with their in-house agents because they make a little bit of money off that too with the commission.
Mm-hmm.
But just so you can be different from your colleagues, and you can just learn about the product and just be an advocate really for your clients, and that will just set you apart. Because a lot of folks really like the 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 non-traditional, I mean the traditional way, because it's just a little faster. It's straightforward. They're not looking at your credit card statements. They're not looking at your what you're paying in rent. They're looking at your W-2 to qualify you. And usually that's what gets a lot of people in trouble because they're being qualified for more than what they should really afford.
Gotcha. But still, let's talk about why this is better to use in this market, just from
Hmm.
a real estate professional standpoint.
It's, one, the rate, the interest rate. So granted, NACA's rate currently is high, 5.75%. But if you go to a Wells Fargo, you might be looking at 6.5 or 7%. So it's just you're going to get a lower interest rate. And even now, here's the cool thing that I did not mention. Let's say you're buying a house and you can negotiate for the seller to give you 3% towards your closing cost. So even though you don't have closing cost, you can get that 3% to buy down your interest rate.
What?
New construction, if new construction is giving
What?
you $15,000, you can use that $15,000 to buy down your interest rate with new construction
With new construction.
as well. The house has to be standing though. You can't build a house with NACA's loan, but you can use that money because right now we're in a climate where lenders, sorry, not lenders, sellers are giving closing help.
Right? Right?
So 3% can be 15,000. Let's say you have 15,000. That's $30,000 that you have to buy down your interest rate from 5.75% to maybe 3.75%.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's technically free because you need skin in the game. You need to save. You need to have a little bit of money. But if you don't, NACA will still work with you and let you know where you need to be. It's just a lovely mortgage product that I really love.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Mm,
I know that this video is going to help a lot of people. I feel like I was enlightened today. I'm sure you, the viewer, feel that way as well. Please make sure to take a look at the links that we have below. I mean, hey, we're good people. We're not scary. Oh, you want to say one more thing?
yes, you cannot own a home when you're using NACA. So it's really for like first time home buyers. You could have not had any interest in the property in the last, I believe it's 2 to 3 years. So that's one thing to also consider. It's really for first time home buyers.
Okay, I have a question, right? Say
Sure.
a person got married and their wife owns a home, but they themselves don't own the home, but the house is in their wife's name.
Mhm.
Okay, can they then apply for the loan as well?
If that mortgage shows up on your credit, no,
No. So if it doesn't show up on your credit, yes.
you're
Okay,
fine. Yes.
cool, cool, cool.
That's a good question. That's a great question, actually. Good one.
Creative financing.
Look, we need it as a people. We need to build wealth and
Right.
save money, and that
Exactly.
could help.
Exactly. So if you want to talk to Remy, if you want to talk to me, click the link below. And I'm so excited. This was
Mm,
definitely a video that I was really looking forward to doing with you, Remy. And I
yes.
just want to thank you so much for being here and being willing to share this information.
Look, thank you for having me. Once you reached out, I was excited. Because the state of black home ownership specifically, it's bad. So NACA, I believe, will not widen the gap, but it'll help reduce that, and even other communities that have been um marginalized. This will actually help them a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, like, unfortunately, our home ownership rates have decreased.
Yes.
Decreased significantly
Significant.
since the 60s. And we're
Hmm.
like, what? What? And we don't think about it. It doesn't look like it, but when you look at the actual numbers, our community, our home ownership rates have decreased
Substantially.
substantially. And like, one of the best things that I love, I've worked with people that have been renting for 20, 35 years, and then
Hmm.
they buy their first house for the first time. But, of course, there were things in place when they first purchased, when they first started renting, redlining. We know
Hmm.
those things that were in fact impacting the community.
Yeah.
But think about if they purchased a house way back then, it would be paid for by now.
Well,
You know, so if you're young watching this video and you're in one of the communities that he talked about, please take this opportunity. Like, I implore you, if you're renting right now and you think that you'll never have the opportunity to buy a house, you absolutely can. This
Yeah,
is like one of the best products out there to do that. So
it's a
take the
no-brainer.
opportunity.
I've had doctors go through this. I've had nurses who made good money go through this. I've had, a dentist. So it's not a program, it's not Section 8, it's not subsidized, whatever people think. It's an actual nonprofit organization is advocate for affordable housing, not housing, affordable mortgages.
Yes, it's not a stigmatized program. It is a product that smart people use. How about that?
Definitely, yes, yes,
It's a product that people that want to build generational wealth in a very leveraged way, they use this product. Period.
yeah.
You know?
So, hey,
Huh?
we gave you guys the information. You can dig a little deeper. Click
Mm-hmm.
the links below, download the PDF file that they have, and the world is yours. We can't say nothing more. It's easy.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Remy, for coming on, and thank you for watching this video. See ya.
Thank you for having me. Later.
Bye.
Bye.